Hello, Gemini. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so very much for being here with me for your September 2023 Tarotscope. It is an absolute blessing to be here with you. In the description box below, you will find links to all sorts of goodies. You will also find a timestamp if you would like to jump to the start of your reading. Please do keep in mind that this is a collective reading, not a personal reading, so take only what resonates with you and leave the rest. If you would like deeper insights to your month, please do check out your sun, moon, and rising. That way you can get a bigger picture and, again, deeper understanding or deeper insights to what may be showing up for you this month. September is a universal 7 month and is often thought of, the number 7, as a number of the spiritual seeker or wise sage that is on a quest for deeper knowledge. So this month we're being asked to slow down, dive deep into ourselves, and reflect on our soul's desires and our purpose. We're also being asked to seek divine wisdom in solitude and stillness, and then to let it move us as we continue on our journeys. This is what we're going to be looking at for this month. So let's dive in and see what is coming up for you. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, tell us about the overall energy of September 2023 for Gemini. Okay, thank you. Tell us, please, if Gemini slows down and listens to their soul and God's callings, what might they hear? If Gemini slows down and listens to their souls and God's callings, what might they hear? Thank you. How could integrating what you learn, Gemini, help to bring clarity, stability, and or structure into your path, purpose, and life? Okay, interesting. Thank you. And what wisdom does Gemini's guides, angels, ancestors, spirit, source, universe, and God most want to share with them as they move forward, please? Okay, thank you. I am going to ask for your grace and understanding using this deck. It is circular and is the first that I've had in this shape, so it's been an adjustment, and I want to thank you for giving me a bit of grace. Tell us more, please, about Gemini's overall energy for September 2023. Tell us more. Okay, thank you. Tell us more, please, if Gemini slows down. Thank you. Tell us more. How could integrating what Gemini learns help to bring clarity, stability, and or structure to their path, purpose, and life? Thank you very much. Tell us more about the wisdom, Gemini's angels. Okay, thank you. And anything we may have missed or need to know about the overall energy for September 2023 for Gemini. I feel like that goes back. Actually, I feel like they all go back. There we are. Thank you. Tell us more, please. Anything we may have missed or need to know about. There it is. Thank you. Anything we may have missed or need to know, please, about how integrating what Thank you. And anything we may have missed or need to know about the wisdom Gemini's angels, guides, ancestors, spirit, source, universe, God most want to share with them as they move forward. Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, Gemini, let's dive in. So the overall energy for you for September, we have answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Now, I really feel like this for you, Gemini, speaks to getting quiet. I'm actually seeing in this card this woman sitting here by herself. She's in nature and she appears to be pondering or reflecting. And so I do feel as though September is calling you, or the overall energy or theme that is circulating for you is this energy of getting very, very reflective, pardon me, and really diving deep and asking yourself, what is my soul calling me to do? Again, September being a universal 7 month asks us to slow down and to reflect on our purpose. And I feel as though this is something that is coming to the forefront for you. I feel as though, how would I say this? There is kind of like a caution to not get stuck in analysis paralysis, to not dwell too much, but to seriously consider what is coming through, right? It's almost as if you get the answer and it's like, don't keep thinking and thinking and thinking on it. That's not to say that maybe you don't want to meditate on it or pray about it or get confirmation of some kind. Of course, use your discernment. But I feel as though it's not so much about getting stuck in that thinking of it over and over and over. It's like, okay, this is what my soul is calling me to do, and I'm going to answer that, right? So I do feel like this is a month where you're being asked to go inward and to really consider what your soul truly desires. What is it that you really feel called to? Okay, so your purpose is surely coming to light this month if you resonate with this. Yeah, you also have, it's so funny how this works. You're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. Yeah, right. As I was saying before we even turn this card over, there is this energy of caution to not get stuck in that analysis paralysis, thinking it and thinking and thinking and thinking and running circles around whatever it is that's coming through over and over. It's more about connecting with what you feel is true within and pursuing that. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that this month you'll feel called to take action or that you will be moving, but it is gaining that clarity, right? Really going inward and discovering what is true for you. And then there's almost this energy of like planning, right? Once you find out what it is that your soul is calling you to do, then I don't want to say running with it, because it's, again, more about planning, but it is figuring that out, discovering it for yourself, and then aligning with it and continuing to align with it, right? What is it that I need to do next? Now that I know this, now what? Okay. So and I feel the more that you align with what is true for you, the more you embody that, the more you pursue that, I feel like the answers are going to come in. The next steps are going to come in. And again, that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be taking those steps this month, but I feel like it's choosing the things that are going to align with that, right? Maybe it's working on your mindset and getting into alignment with that. Maybe it's analyzing some patterns and behaviors that you embody and transforming that, or moving from, or pivoting, if you will, and aligning with behaviors and patterns that align with what is true. I hope that makes sense. But I definitely feel, so here's the thing I want to share as well, intuitively speaking, both of these cards here have what appear to be kind of mountainous types of landscapes and water. So I do feel that diving into this depth for you this month may feel like an uphill climb. I keep wanting to be very fast, right? It's almost like my words are kind of falling out because I'm trying to go so quickly. And I feel as though this is where the struggle may come in for you, Gemini. It may be a bit of a struggle or a challenge for you to really kind of pull it in and slow down, right? I feel as though for some of you, your brain is wanting to go, 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 and reining that in and really getting slow and diving deep and taking your time there, I feel could be a part of what is the challenge for you, or part of that mountain that you will be needing to climb. We also have for you, Akasha, funny, your guidance is divinely guided. Yeah, right. I mean, as I was saying, I feel as though once you're able to get inward, and once you're able to really listen and align with whatever comes through for you, it's worth noting or understanding that the steps that will need to be taken will come, and that is divinely guided, right? What comes through your intuition, what your soul speaks to you as truth, comes through your intuition. Now, of course, this is going to require discernment, and it's going to require you knowing yourself, which for some of you, that may be why you need to dive deep and allow yourself to do that, to be able to recognize what is coming through via your intuition and through that divine guidance or wisdom. But certainly there's this need to trust, right? Whatever comes through your intuition, trusting that it is true for you, trusting that it is coming from a space that is for you, right? That's coming from a space of love, okay? So this is very interesting. It's very interesting. Because again, I feel like there's this kind of desire to kind of want to like rush through things. But I feel as though it's very important for you this month to get time to yourself. Each of the cards here have only one being on them. So I do feel like this could be a month for you as well, where you may find yourself needing or wanting to be more alone, to really have the opportunity to get introspective, to reflect, and to dive deep within, to really answer, what is your soul calling you to do? Where are you supposed to be going? How are you supposed to be moving? You have conjunction, integration, synergy, and unity. Yeah, this feels, again, right, there's the energy of like alignment. It keeps coming through that way. And with this integration, synergy, and unity, it feels to me like what is playing out or what is unfolding throughout the course of this month is meant to get you into that space of where you come into union with the different facets of yourself, where you bring that together. And I feel like the way that you're going to be able to do this is by integrating what you learn as you go on that inner quest, as you dive deep, as you discover your truth, right? Because it's very interesting. I'm getting kind of that Lovers from the tarot type energy, which is your card, right? It's a representation of Gemini in the tarot. And so I feel as though this is speaking heavily to, coming into alignment and creating this sense of unity with your personal beliefs, with your values, within yourself, the love you have for yourself, and making choices that are going to bring this sense of harmony within yourself, which is very interesting, right? Because as Gemini, being known as the twins, oftentimes, at least in my experience, Gemini can have this kind of back and forth, right, kind of thing, where there's that struggle to find that balance and that harmony and that union. And I feel like this is what is unfolding throughout the course of this month, is to try to bring that in, okay? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I also feel like I should tell you that the things that are not in alignment with your truth, the things that are not in alignment with how would I say this? With anything that doesn't bring you harmony or creates some kind of chaos or turmoil in your experience, I feel there's a need of one of two things. It's very interesting. I don't know that I've actually ever got something like this before, but there's one of two things. For some, there's this need to play the observer, to detach from that turmoil, because I'm feeling as though some of you are involved or part of situations that maybe you feel as though you cannot get out of, right? So for some, maybe this is involvement with, let's say, the other parent of your child, or something where it's like, I'm kind of in this for now. If that is true for you, I feel like there's this need to kind of rise above, to play the observer, to not allow yourself to be so attached to whatever's happening, right? And to instead, to the best of your ability, remain harmonious within yourself, to not let whatever's going on throw you off or create disharmony. And for others of you, I feel as though it is really just cutting out the things that bring disharmony into your experience. It's choosing to align with the things that bring that bring balance into your experience, and create more unity versus creating destruction or chaos. Okay, we have here for you as well the Two of Wands. Yeah, right, there's that energy of planning, of making decisions. I also feel like for you, there's this sense of getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, because I do feel as though whatever your soul is calling for you to do or align with is likely to push you outside of what you would normally feel comfortable doing. For some of you, there's discomfort here in that deep dive within self. And so this is kind of an encouragement, if you will, to say, get comfortable with that. Step into your personal power, and don't be afraid of your originality. Yeah, choosing to, how would I say, it's essentially, choosing to be comfortable with exactly who you are, and allowing that to empower you, right? Planning according to that. Okay, so for example, again, with whatever your soul is calling to you, it's like, okay, this is who I am. This is like, I am unique in this way for a reason. And I'm going to choose to step into that power that I hold as a unique individual, and plan accordingly, right? So, another part of this I feel for you, Gemini, is like, don't dim to fit in, right? This is really allowing that uniqueness that you hold to, again, empower you, to propel you to the next level. So that's very interesting for you this month. And again, all of the cards that have some sort of character or being on them all have one. Okay, at least for your overall energy or theme. And I feel as though, again, that speaks to taking that time to go within. All right. So if you should slow down, Gemini, and listen to your soul's or God's callings, what might you hear? Interesting. Council of Light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realm. So this is very fascinating to me, because you have your guidance is divinely guided, and here you have divine orchestration. So I feel as though there's kind of this almost like this surprised kind of feeling that I'm getting. And I feel like if you are able to slow down, like really slow down and listen, I feel as though you could potentially be hearing that guidance very clearly, hearing that help coming in. And it almost feels as though some of these pieces that may have been scattered about start to fall into place and start to paint a bigger picture for you. And I feel as though this could show you how things are, or rather, yes, how and why things are unfolding in the way that they are. Again, especially if you are able to discover and come to acknowledge what your soul is calling to you. It's almost as though you will start to see this picture form, and could potentially be very surprised at how guided you truly are and how much help you truly have. Okay. So this is very interesting. And this kind of energy seems to be coming up a lot, even in my membership readings, day to day. There is this energy that keeps coming through about all of the help that we are currently, receiving, to navigate all of this energy that's coming through this month. So it really isn't a surprise to see this. But again, I feel as though slowing down, you may truly get a deeper understanding of what is actually unfolding and why. You also have here Saturn, discipline, obstacles, boundaries. Yeah, right. So there's this feeling of, again, the pieces coming together and really kind of understanding why things are unfolding the way that they are. Okay. So for example, if you've experienced, certain obstacles and things like this, it could be showing you, oh, this is why this is unfolded this way. This is why this obstacle is here. And I feel called to remind you or to share with you that redirection is protection. Rejection is redirection, right? So it's all kind of linked to that protection energy where certain things, God will move you. Like, this is not for you, so we're going to push you this way. We're going to redirect you this way to protect you from whatever's going on over here. Okay. I also feel as though this Saturn energy speaks to the discipline that it takes to really get quiet. It's interesting because when you get quiet and you're relaxed, that's when you're most likely to hear that help coming through or that guidance coming through. But it takes a certain level of discipline to not get distracted, to stay focused, if you will, in those moments of quiet and in those moments of reflection, because there are so many things in our lives that can be a distraction. And so I feel like this is speaking to that. I am getting some fear coming up as well, which again, for some of you, this may be very difficult to do. But I also feel as though with the boundaries here, Saturn is saying, or this card is saying in this position, that for some of you, there could again be a need for those boundaries. As I was sharing, for some of you, there's a need to cut out or move away from certain energies, right? That create disharmony. And to have those boundaries, I feel, could be very important. And it's interesting too, because I don't feel like those boundaries are just important just because they're important. I feel as though they're important. I know that may not have made sense. But they're important because you need this time to reflect, I feel. And not only that, but there are certain energies that can pollute your own and again, kind of distract you from hearing what you actually need to hear or seeing what you actually need to see. And creating some distance may be exactly what you need. In addition to that, again, obstacles that show up could be exactly what you need, because there are certain energies that God would like to separate you from so that you can actually hear what is going on, so that you can actually see the bigger picture, right? Very, very interesting. Yeah, and for some of you, I feel as though there could have been a time where, or maybe things are unfolding or have unfolded where you've been upset about certain things that didn't work out, or that you felt, or how would you say, you felt restricted you in some kind of way, or created obstacles for you in some kind of way. But I feel like if you open up your heart, you could have these pieces of this puzzle falling together where you see why it had to work that way. It's very, very interesting. And I'm actually hearing for some of you, like, you owe it to yourselves to take this time for yourself, right? To really give yourself the space to be able to dive deep. You have the Eight of Cups in reverse here. Yeah. I, so this is an energy of fear, right? It can be fear of change or loss. And it can also be a very avoidant energy, because the Eight of Cups in the upright is this energy of walking away, change, right? Potentially finding that deeper meaning as well, moving forward, leaving things behind, being disillusioned. And so for some of you, I feel as though this Saturn energy in combination with this Eight of Cups in reverse and this divine orchestration is actually bringing to your attention the responsibility that you have to acknowledge and address things that maybe you haven't wanted to. For some, this is certain fears, right? And this could be, a multitude of things depending on your story, where you're at in your journey, those sorts of things. But there is a certain, Saturn is this energy, or can be, of responsibility. And I feel as though this is being highlighted here because I feel there are certain things that perhaps you need to be looking at more closely. And this could be to do with your own emotions, okay? To take responsibility for them. Emotions can be something very difficult to deal with, especially if we've, been raised or programmed or grown up in a space where they weren't something that were celebrated or acknowledged or allowed even. And so I feel like there's an energy here of really allowing yourself to experience what you need to, right? And take responsibility for that. So you may be shown where you've been avoiding things that have needed your attention, okay? And with September being this universal 7-month, all about that introspection and reflection, that dive deep, or that diving deep, I feel as though this is an energy that's coming up for many people, and it can be incredibly challenging. A lot of people don't want to dive deep, or allow themselves to experience their emotions. They would much rather forget some of the things that have caused them pain and suffering and heartbreak. But carrying them only, how would I say this? Carrying them only allows them to have control over us, right? So when we release them, not only do we make room for new things to come in, but we free ourselves, and we find ourselves lighter, right? We don't feel so much like we're carrying the weight of the world. So, it's very helpful for those who are able to, face themselves and their fears and to release them or heal them. So how could integrating what you learn, if you slow down, help to bring clarity, stability, and or structure into your path, purpose, and life? Okay, wow, yeah, boundaries for sure. I feel like this is going to help you to say no more often, okay? Or to stand in your personal power more often. Again, you have boundaries showing up. And now with no, wait, postpone, pause, say no, I feel as though this could help you to really, first of all, slow down, right? To really be very intentional about how you're moving, what you're doing, what you're giving your energy to, who you're allowing into your space, who you're sharing your energy with, that kind of thing. But I also feel as though for some of you, there is a need to be like, no, just flat out no. Okay. And I feel as though, again, this could bring more stability into your experience, because I feel like you're not going to find yourself kind of spinning around in circles looking at all of these things that are calling for your attention, right? It gives you the opportunity to, kind of plant your feet, if you will, and to, again, I know it's going to sound very repetitive, but again, to be very intentional about what it is you're giving your energy to, versus like spinning around in a circle, like, feeling like you don't know which way's up and which way's down. I feel like it will help you to get more focus. I also feel as though, having this ability to say no um, could build trust within yourself. Okay, because if we feel that we should be saying no to something, or waiting on something, but we choose to do it anyways, that is an act of betrayal against ourselves. And through those acts, we teach ourselves that we cannot trust ourselves. And so when we have things come in that we feel we should be doing or not doing, we don't feel like we can trust what is actually occurring, right? So for example, if we're like, oh, we should be doing this is my path, this is my purpose, then maybe you're like that for like a hot second, but then all of a sudden you're questioning and you're doubting and you're insecure, and all of these sorts of things. A lot of times this comes from us feeling like we can't trust ourselves. So I feel like it will help to build that as well. Wow, you have the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this could take you to a new beginning. You do have the Two of Wands here, which would indicate to me that there's this level of planning that could be taking place for you where, you're getting ready to step out into a new beginning, to cross that threshold, as it were, and to experience something different. You may have felt recently you've been experiencing what we might call dark times, or, things may have felt very heavy. But I feel as though integrating what you learn here, acknowledging that, right, and really applying it into your experience, could potentially take you to brighter days, right? Could take you to a new experience. But the thing of it is you have to face that darkness, if you will. There are snakes here. It looks all creepy. I think there's even like what appears to be, and I don't even know if this is intentional in this deck, but it appears to be like this creepy looking figure on the side of this doorway here. And so it feels to me, and maybe you're like, oh, I'm not afraid of snakes. Okay, fine. But this is meant to represent fear. It's meant to represent the darkness and facing that. And in order to, move into that new space where it's lighter and brighter, there's a need for us to face those fears, to face that darkness that we hold within, right? It's the only way that you're going to be able to cross that threshold. So I do feel as though this is a big initiation for you, and could potentially, like I said earlier, kind of propel you, or take you to the next level, should you choose again to integrate what you're learning as you reflect, as you dive deep. You have your 7th house, Libra, partnerships, balance. Yes, one-on-one relationships. So again, right, it could bring that balance into your experience. And it's funny because we're asking, how could these things help to bring clarity, stability, and or structure? And you have balance showing up. Okay, not only that, but partnerships are coming up. And I did say that for some of you, this involves people. This involves boundaries, right? And removing yourself from situations that create disharmony or chaos. I'm getting fear coming up again. So I feel for some of you, those partnerships, whatever they look like, or those relationships, whatever they look like, for some of you that holds a lot of fear for you. Okay, in some kind of way, shape, or form. It's likely to look different for everyone, but I feel as though there is a big need here again to say no to those interactions that are not bringing balance, that again, that create disharmony or chaos or turbulence. Because I feel as though, the energy for you this month is to create that unity, that synergy, okay, within. And sometimes in order to do that, we have to remove ourselves from certain situations. I also feel like for some of you, you may be gaining clarity on certain partnerships or relationships where there's a need to, maybe postpone them, take a break from them, create boundaries, say no, that sort of thing. And interestingly enough, for some of you, I feel as though for some of you, you may have like kind of just started talking to someone. For some of you, this is romantic. For others of you, this may be a budding friendship. But I feel as though if this resonates with you, there could be a need to kind of put the brakes on, because I feel like you have to get right with you. And once you do that, you may find that this interaction may go no further. Again, take it as it resonates, right? It's your story. If it's not for you, don't pick it up. But that's just a little extra something I was picking up on. We also have lunar eclipse, culmination, release, illumination. Yeah, like I said, I feel like some of you are going to be gaining this clarity on certain interactions. And I also feel as well, like I was saying before, that, we're getting this picture that could be painted for you, or these puzzle pieces that are coming together. So, it feels as though these things could be coming together and show you, illuminate to you where there are, illuminate certain truths to you where there's a need to release certain things, right? Cannot make this stuff up. Sorry that it's not focusing. There we go. Yeah, I mean, it really does feel as though this is bringing, if you allow it, could really help to shed light on things that, again, you may have been avoiding or fearing, and could potentially help you to create boundaries, and release some of these fears, or release some of these relationships that have been creating, that disharmony or imbalance in your experience. You also have 11th house, Aquarius, collaboration, memberships, and network. Yeah, I mean, you really can't make this stuff up, because I do feel as though, again, a big part of this is going to be asking you to move away from some of these things that are some of these groups that are not serving you. For some of you, there's a social media aspect to this. For others of you, this could be, I don't know why, but for some of you, there's something here about business for somebody. Some kind of, maybe you were starting a business with somebody, or in business with somebody, or something, collaborating on a project, maybe at work, something like that. For somebody, I don't know who it's for. There's something here where this may not be where you need to be. But regardless, however it's showing up for you, you have partnerships, balance, one-on-one relationships, culmination, release, illumination, collaboration, memberships, and network. So I feel as though there is likely to be for you this clarity coming in, or illumination coming in to paint this bigger picture for you in regards to any of your partnerships, any of your interactions with others, and could potentially be encouraging you to release certain things or certain interactions, if you will, to create more balance in your experience. And I feel as though for some of you, again, if you integrate this, you could find your, how would we say, what is the word I'm looking for? Yes, thank you. You could find that your standards change significantly. Okay, so you might go from, these are the kinds of people that I'm interacting with, and take this month to reflect. And you may find afterwards, after you kind of get this clarity and do this deep dive, and, really these pieces kind of start to come together, and you're receiving this guidance, you may find that your standards are like, no, I don't want nothing to do with that kind of energy, right? So you could find that your perspectives on your relationships and who you're interacting with change significantly. Okay? Which again will likely bring balance and more harmony into your experience. It's going to free you. You're going to feel so much lighter. That is the energy that comes through right away. I feel like it could, for some of you, there's this energy that's in your experience, and I don't know who it is, I don't know why, but there's an energy in your experience where it is draining you. It is literally like sucking the joy of life out of you. Okay? And I feel as though if you resonate with this is coming to this understanding and allowing yourself to acknowledge what is true could potentially lead you to a space where you have this renewed sense of enthusiasm and excitement for life. Okay? Like it really feels as though there could be this sense of freedom. And for some of you, this comes from boundaries. This comes from you saying no. This comes from you like, that's not for me. Like, it's nothing personal. It's not for me. I mean, and you still have, with the exception of the Council of Light, which, is that team that you have supporting you. Okay, so your angels, your guides, Christ, God, however you refer to your guides, whatever you resonate with the exception of that, you have single characters. Okay, so for some of you, maybe you have a fear of being alone or have had a fear of being alone, and going through this experience, you could find yourself like, I'm enjoying my own company right now. And you could find yourself saying no more often because it creates a sense of freedom. Right? It's very, very interesting. But I also feel for some of you, your confidence could grow, your creativity could grow, your courage could grow, right? Simply by integrating these things. Now I say simply, but as we know, healing and working through our things and facing ourselves and allowing ourselves to integrate what we learn is challenging. It is not a walk in the park, right? But the concept itself is simple. So the wisdom your angels, guides, ancestors, spirit, source, universe, God most want to share with you as you move forward is inner temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. I mean, yeah, for some of you, this is literally about following your heart. Giving yourself the opportunity to hear what it is speaking to you. And really to remain devoted to whatever it is that you find. Again, that's very difficult because we have so many things in our experience that are trying to pull us one way or the other, that are trying to change us and fix us and all of these sorts of things. And more often than not, when you are somebody who is like, you put your feet in the sand, as it were, or dig your heels in and say, this is who I am, you're not going to sway me because I am my own person, I am sovereign. That ruffles a lot of feathers. And it can, in some cases, cause us to move in a direction or in a way that is not in alignment with what our truth is. I'm actually feeling called to read from the guidebook on this card for you. I don't even know if that made sense. It did in my head. Let me see if I can find it here. Give me just a second. There we are. Okay. It says, and remember, this is the wisdom that your angels, guides, ancestors, spirit, source, universe, God most want to share with you as you move forward. You are being called to be a devoted student and tune into your heart, to incorporate true devotion into your life. You could be being called to develop a regular meditation, journaling, or chanting practice, or to show up to your soul with rhythm, to develop a daily practice where you fill up your well and spend time with your soul. All of the answers to all of the questions that you seek are waiting for you in the portal of your heart. But you cannot hear them unless you carve out time each day to listen. Your soul is yearning for a deeper relationship with you. And so the more time you spend with it and show up to it, the more clearly it will guide you. We are here to grow as souls. Earth is one big playground for the soul to learn, and you are being called to go deeper in your soul growth, or to increase your devotion by being a student of a lineage or a spiritual teacher. If you have already been a committed student, then you are being commended for your devotion. Your guides want you to know how proud of you they are, and that the time you spend in devotion is priceless. If you are questioning your career or life path, your guides want you to turn your focus toward devotion and this prayer. Please use me in a way that delights my mind, body, and soul. May my life be one big moving prayer. Right? So again, there is this wisdom coming through, encouraging you to connect deeply with yourself and to make this a big part of your life, to align with what your heart and soul are speaking to you, right? Which, I mean, pretty much this entire reading has said that anyways. So I just feel like that's just further reiteration, if you will, of what you're being asked to do this month. You have second house, Taurus, finances, value, and possessions. Now, what's really interesting about this to me is I feel like this is speaking to the value that you find in yourself. I feel as though this is really calling you to see spending time on yourself and in your heart space and that deep dive as valuable. Okay, this feels so far, if you will, from that whole kind of financial possession type of energy, and feels very much connected to the value of your heart, your truth, and you as a person. And I feel as though this is important, or it's important for you to recognize the value that you hold as the unique individual that you are, and to put that value to yourself, to see yourself as worthy, and to understand that each moment that you spend exploring the truth of who you are as valuable. Not only that, but seeing your energy and your time as valuable and using it accordingly. Okay, so I definitely am hearing this message of don't, yeah, there's a verse from the Bible, and I'm not well read when it comes to the Bible. I just want to be very clear about that. But it's something along the lines of like, don't feed pearls to swine. Something close to that. And this is a similar energy, because it is, you are unique and you are valuable. And how do I say, it is unwise to be wasting your time and energy on those who are abusing it, or not seeing the value in it, or are creating turbulence and disharmony, right? Because those who love you do not want to create that in your experience. Okay? Of course, take that as it resonates with you, but very interesting. And I feel, it's a very important message. We also have planetary return, cyclicality, homecoming, and progress. for some of you, I feel that it's very interesting because you have all of this energy um, of beginning something again, or stepping out with a new perspective. And with the initiation and rite of passage here, I feel as though there's an opportunity here, or there could be, for you to end a cycle, to really close something out and step into a new way of being, where maybe you feel more unified within yourself, you feel more harmonious. Pardon me, you're able to release some of these fears and move forward, right, from things that have been holding you back. I also feel for some of you, there's a message here about this is happening for you. This is happening for you to progress. This is happening for you to come home to yourself again, to create that unity within. Because for some of you, I feel like if I had a conversation with you, I feel like there are some of you who would say, like, you feel like you've been living outside of yourself, right? Or like maybe you've been living somebody else's life or something. And so it seems to me that the message that's trying to be shared here with you is these things are happening, though they may be uncomfortable and challenging. These things are happening for you to come back to yourself. Okay? To not feel like you're a stranger in your own body. And we do have Saturn here, and this planetary return. And for some reason, I don't know why I'm feeling called to share this, but for some of you, you may be experiencing a Saturn return. You might resonate with that. I don't know. But that could be applicable for some. And if that is true for you, you would find that out by looking at your natal chart. I'm not an astrologer, but you would find that out by, taking a peek at your natal chart. And if you already know that that's true for you, this may be something that you want to dive deeper into. So you may be experiencing that this month for some of you. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I don't even know. Okay. Again, I'm not an astrologer, but I just felt called to share that. So there it is. We have here Ace of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, some of you have been blocked off from your own hearts. And I feel like this is certainly coming to the light at this point. For some of you, I feel like you've had these kind of blocked emotions. Your creativity may have been blocked. And here's that feeling of emptiness that I was getting, right? That feeling of being kind of outside of yourself. Maybe, you feel like you're living somebody else's life, or you're a stranger in your own body, or something of that nature. And I definitely feel like the way that you can remedy this, if you will, is by reconnecting with yourself, by tuning into your own heart and seeing your own value, opening up your heart. For some of you, you could have been disconnected from your intuition, from love, from intimacy, from that emotional force within you. And this is a call for you to reconnect with that. I mean, again, you have tuned into the portal of your heart, and the Ace of Cups in reverse with that focus on that heart space. So I feel like this is really calling, some of you to reconnect there, to allow those emotions that you're experiencing to be felt, to deal with any loss that you may have experienced, to, again, kind of fill up your own well, as was talked about here in this card when we read through the book, right? Because that emptiness, it's like the only way you can remedy that is by experiencing those emotions and feeling those things that, perhaps you've been afraid to, or have avoided, or for whatever reason have disconnected from. So it appears to me, Gemini, that you do have a very interesting month ahead of you. It seems that this could be one, as I feel is probably going to be true for pretty much all of the signs anyways, one of tremendous reflection and growth, should you allow that to take place. It does say here that you have this initiation that is, is kind of waiting for you, if you will. And so you may find, as you close out this month, that you have a lot more clarity and feel more balanced and ready to align with your truth, in a way that is exciting and brings enthusiasm back into your life and frees you from perhaps these feelings of emptiness or unworthiness that you may have been experiencing. If something in this reading has resonated for you, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, commenting below, or subscribing. It really does help the channel to grow, and I truly, truly am so very grateful for any of you who subscribe, comment, like, share. I'm so very grateful. So thank you for being here with me. I pray that you have a month full of deep insight. I pray that some of these pieces come together and that you are able to find yourself at home within you as you move forward. Take care of your growing, evolving, unique soul. Peace be with you and within you. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.